Nancy's beautiful beaver coat transformed into a throw. What a pleasure it was working with Nancy's coat. The beaver coat was really soft, it was in excellent shape, it sewed together so well. The customer chose to keep her lining, so we used that later on. Once the lining was removed from the coat and the coat was deconstructed, I could see that the straight lines of the coat were great. So what I did was I was able to use the armholes and the sleeves to create a much larger fur. Here I was previewing to see which sleeve fit better in which area. I had pre-cut the openings and now I have the dimensions, so I'm cutting each sleeve to the dimension of each particular hole. And when the coat is nice and straight like this, using the armholes, I prefer. The less cutting I do, the better. Once that's done, I'm going to clip the pieces to the main part of the fur. And then I move on to the next sleeve. Again, I already had the measurements written out. And although I am cutting the sleeves out here, these pieces are not going to go to waste. They're going to be used, patched together as part of the border of the fur. Once it's all pinned in place, I bring it to the fur machine where I am going to sew the pieces together. Here I'm repairing tiny little marks or holes for where the buttons were. Once all the repairs are done and all the strips are put together, I then start working on the border. I usually make them about 3.5 inches wide, and I use whatever remaining scraps that I have from the fur. So what I'll do is I'll preview it and I'll put it all the way around to make sure I have enough. And then after that's done, I'll wet it down, stretch it out so it lays flat. This measured 59 by 54 inches, which is really a nice size throw from a coat. And there it is, all sewn together. Then I add my cotton backing and then I work on the lining. So this is going to be reinforced with an iron-on stabilizer and the pieces will eventually be sewn together. I bring it down to my long arm machine where I embellish it. Underneath this part right here is a cotton, 80% cotton, 20% polyester lining. And you can see that the effect really is quite beautiful. And here is the fur completed. The The drape is quite nice. It is a very large, very heavy fur. The lining complements it very, very nicely. And that's the back and the front together. And a close-up of the monogram. It takes up almost the majority of my couch. Come visit us at dinahsquilts.com.